What's up, fishes and fishettes? Welcome back to the channel. We're back at it with another video coming at you guys from Bell Gardens, California, specifically out here at the Bicycle Casino, home of Live at the Bike, where in just a few moments we're gonna head inside and see what kind of shenanigans, what kind of trouble we can get into. But before we go on and do that, I got one quick announcement. This Saturday, August 21st, we're gonna be at the Hustler Casino. We're gonna be attending the Wolfgang / Next Gen Poker meetup game. They're gonna be in town, they're gonna be playing there, I'm gonna be there. Come by, say hi, claim your free sticker, come have a beer with me. Challenges will be accepted, people's dreams will be destroyed. Come challenge me, come say hi, we'll be there. We're gonna have a great time, we're gonna have just a great time. The blinds are gonna be 2-3 with the $100 minimum buy-in, a $500 maximum buy-in, so hopefully you guys can make it. That's all I got for you guys for right now. We'll see you guys inside, but in the meantime, go on and do me a solid, click that thumbs up button. If you like poker related content, go on and click subscribe. The notification bell won't hurt, and if you want to give me just a little bit more love, follow me on TikTok at fishpoker31. You don't even need an account to watch my videos. Also follow me on Instagram. It's not that great, to be honest with you, but if you guys have Instagram, follow me there. You could always catch up on where I'm playing. But anyways, yeah, that's enough jabbering. Now let's get inside and let's get into some action. So we get this party started with a $300 buy-in, with the blinds being 2-3. We look down at ace-8 suited. We definitely want to play this, so we're going to go on and bump it up to 12 bucks. The late position opponent calls, button calls, the big blind calls, our limping opponent calls, and we go 5 ways to a flop of ace-10-3 with 2 diamonds. Not a bad board, as we flop top pair and we go on and fire off a bet of 20 bucks once it gets to us. Everybody gets out of the way except our limping opponent, and we go heads up to see another ace of hearts on the turn. It checks one more time and I go on and fire off a bet of 40 bucks. My opponent is thinking about it, she's a little reluctant, but ultimately lands on a call, and we go heads up to see another 3 on the river. My opponent checks one more time and I go on and fire off a bet of 10 bucks, which is all she has behind. She finds a fold and we go on and we take this one down. I'm not sure why she folded when she was getting 19-1. I would have obviously played a flush draw the same way. I could have missed as well, but it didn't work out that way. I know I lost 10 bucks of value when I should have shoved on the turn. It's only 10 bucks, but the greedy side of me does the math and realizes that if I lose $10 a week of value in a whole year, that's about 520 bucks. But I'm not gonna lose sleep over it. We're on to the next one. Now we're in early position looking down at King 10 offsuit, and I go on and I make it 10 bucks. We get 2 callers down the road and we go 3 ways out of position to a flop of King 8-9 rainbow. We're first to act and we go on and fire off a bet of 15 bucks, to which our opponent to our left, the mint, clicks us to 30. Everybody gets out of the way. It's only 15 more bucks to me, so I make the call and we go on and see a jack on the turn. I go on and pick up more equinity on this hand and we go on and check to our opponent. She goes on and fires off a bet of 45 bucks, which I gladly call with my top pair and open-ended straight draw. And we go heads up to see an ace on the river. I check, expecting my opponent to fire the last 30 bucks she has left behind, but she doesn't do that, as she goes on and checks as well. She turns over her king, but unfortunately for her, her kicker is caca. We're gonna go on and take this one down. We're feeling freaking great. Now we're under the gun looking down at 10 jack suited. I go on and I make it 6 bucks. We get 4 callers down the road and we go 5 ways to a flop of 7, 9, 10. Being out of position versus 3 opponents in this wet ass board doesn't float my boat in the way that I like my boat to be floated. I go on and I check. The player to my left checks. The low jack opponent says there's not gonna be no damn free cards given out today, and he goes on and fires off a bet of 18 bucks. The cutoff calls and I'm not about to go on and fold my top pair just yet. I go on and I make the call as well. The player to my left calls and we go 4 ways to see a deuce of hearts on the turn. Now this is a pretty inconsequential card, but I'm still out of position versus 3 opponents. I go on and I check. Everyone else checks except our opponent in the low jack, who continues the aggression for 20 bucks. The cutoff calls. I can't fold. I have top pair. I'm getting 7-1. I make the call. The player to my left calls and we go 4 ways to see another deuce on the river. 7-9 gets counterfeited, but other than that, this deuce shouldn't have changed anything. And I know I could definitely lead out here, but I don't feel like getting re-raised by our opponent in late position and have to potentially lay down the best hand. I go on and I check. Everybody else at the table checks, including our opponent in the low jack who gives up on the betting. He checks. We show our tens and we are good. A nice sized pot gets pushed our direction. Our stack is growing, our confidence is growing, and we are feeling freaking great. Hell freaking yeah. For this next hand, the under the gun player has put out a $6 straddle. I'm next to act and I look down at 10 jack suited and I go on and I bump it up to 16 bucks. The player to my left calls, the small blind calls, the straddler calls, and we go four ways to a beautiful freaking gorgeous flop of jack, jack, king with two hearts. Once action checks around to me, I'm not gonna slow play this. I'm gonna try to build this pot as big as I possibly can, and I'm gonna go on and start off with the wager of 25 bucks, to which our opponent to my left calls, the straddling opponent calls, and we go three ways to see a beautiful gorgeous 10 of hearts on the turn. What a great turn card. Sure, that brings in a royal flush, but that's something that I'm not going to be too concerned with, as that doesn't really happen that often. My opponent in the straddling position now decides to lead out for 100 bucks, and I go on and I just make the smooth call. Now, I didn't raise here because I didn't want to scare off my opponent in late position. I wanted that person to call too, but that doesn't matter as they fold as well. And now I'm just praying that neither an ace of hearts or a queen of hearts hits on the river. A king would also be pretty damn annoying, but I just can't put a king in a range because there's not too many combos of that remaining that would take this line of play. Unless she's specifically holding ace king with an ace of hearts or king queen with the queen of hearts. King jack is also a possibility, but given that there's 3 jacks out of the 4 jacks accounted for, makes it just a little bit less likely that our opponent has a jack in her hand. We also can't put her on pocket aces or pocket queens, as she didn't re-raise my initial $16 pre-flop bet. So with about 340 bucks in the middle, we go on heads up to see one of the cards we really didn't want to see. A stupid king on the river. Now I'm really hoping and wishing that my opponent could find some sort of check so we can go on and have a cheap showdown, but of course that doesn't happen as my opponent puts her remaining $120 in the middle. I'm replaying this hand in my head over and over multiple times, going back and forth like a stupid argument, trying to talk my way into a fold, but ultimately I just come to the conclusion that I'm just not good enough to fold a full house. Not only am I getting 4-1 on a call, but I'm also a fish. I slide my 120 bucks in the middle, indicating that I call, and she turns over king 7 offsuit. What the fuck, guys? Seriously? What the? I'm sorry, guys. I'm not even sure if I can say the word fuck on YouTube, but fuck. King 7? Really? What the? Serious? Why do bad players keep getting rewarded? It's like their good luck goes on and gets triggered every time they do a bad move, every time they play bad. What the whatever. Calm down, fish. Calm down. You know, this lady went ahead and paid her own buy-in. She paid with her own money, so therefore she can go on and play her cards however the fuck she pleases. It worked out for her this time, and we are gonna just go on and move to the next hand. Hell freaking no. Now I'm in late position looking down at ace 10 offsuit. Our opponent in middle position has opened it up to 15 bucks, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the more I think about how I should have left when I was up makes this hand look a little bit more like pocket aces. I go on and I make the call. The big blind makes the call, and we go 3 ways to a flop of deuce 8-4 with 2 clubs. I feel this is not a good flop for the pre-flop aggressor, so when both players check to me, I'm gonna go on and take a stab at it. I fire 25 bucks, hoping to take it down now and try to get my stack back to the glory it once was before this massive cooler on the previous hand. I'm not gonna take it down just yet, as both players call, and we go 3 ways to see a 7 on the turn. Both players check, and I'm gonna go on and check back as well, and we're gonna go on and see a free 6 of spades on the river. Now there's 4 to a straight out there, and my opponent in early position checks. If I was in his position, I wouldn't risk it checking around and me losing value with my straight, so I would bet. But since he didn't bet, I just can't put him on a 5. Our opponent in the middle position, who was our original aggressor, reaches back into his chip stack, counts about 50 bucks, and then he goes on and he checks. This has been such a reliable tell for me in the past that just screams out weakness. My read on this whole situation is that both my opponents beat me, but they both have very little showdown value and they're both afraid of that 6. For those reasons, I go on and I take a stab at it, sliding $100 into a pot of about 120. My opponent on the big blind looks like he just hates the situation that he's in, but ultimately makes the call. Our opponent in middle position, who was the original aggressor, comes to the conclusion that we're both full of shit, and he goes on and shoves 250 bucks. That's 150 bucks more to me, but given the fact that I only have ace high, I go on and I let it go. The opponent on the big blind thinks about it for a few more seconds, but ultimately lands on a call and turns over pocket tens, but they're no good. Our opponent in middle position turns over pocket sevens for a turn to set, and he takes this one down, man, and we feel even more stupider because now our stack has dwindled back down to about 150, and man, we're feeling so not great. Now we're on the button looking down that pocket jiggities. Brad Owen, give me a shout out. Our opponent under the gun has made it 12 bucks. He gets 3 callers down the road, and now it's action on me. I'm thinking about a bet size that will maximize my potential, and I think $70 would do the trick. The only problem is that I only have about 120 bucks left behind. If I make it 70 bucks, I'm gonna only have 50 bucks left behind, which is gonna be way less than a pot size bet. I think the only option here is gonna be either fold or jam, and folding is definitely out of the question. I'm all in, $120 effective. We get 1 caller in middle position, and our opponent to the right that cracked us with king 7 in a full house over full house. She makes the call, and we go 3 ways to a full run out.
Who else is there? No, no more action. Let me do the collection first. Yeah. Oh, everybody is on. Okay.
Of course, there's an ace on the board, and this sweet little old lady that cracked us with king 7 has now cracked us with ace 8. She called a $120 pre-flop bet with ace 8. She got there. Jesus Christ, I'm done. I want the bleeding to stop. That's it. I quit. All right, fishes, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching me light up all my freaking money on fire. We went ahead and bought in for 300 bucks, and we're out for a big old fat zero, which is a profit of about 1, 2, 3, 4, nothing. A profit of nothing. Man, then you know what? This is the way it goes. We don't win 100% of the time. I mean, nobody has a 100% success rate. If you know somebody who claims that never loses, that they never lose, either 1, they're lying, or 2, they're cheating. So go check them. Man, I wasn't able to recover from that full house. That's what it was. It was an uphill battle after that. Even though when I lost, I was at my starting stack. I was at 300-ish, but I was already tilted. Maybe I should have got up and left. Maybe that would have been a better idea rather than stick around and lose all my money. But yeah, man, people knew that I was already on tilt. I tried bluffing off with that ace high, just lit up 100 bucks on fire. Then those pocket jiggities, what the ace 8. This lady called $120 pre-flop with ace 8. How do people do that? How do people find the testiculars to call $120 with ace 8? Ace 10 maybe? Kind of, not really. I mean, I wouldn't. Would you? I know you fishes would too, but it's just, man, you know what though? I already almost knew that I was gonna lose with jiggities. I mean, I've had so many bad beat stories about jiggities that it was almost 100% certain that I was gonna lose that flip. And it wasn't even a flip, but still, like, I knew I was gonna lose, but it is what it is. That's poker, and that's all I have for you guys today. Don't forget, this Saturday, August 21st, Hustler Casino. Be there or be square, and if you don't make it to that one, then I'll just catch you guys on the next one. Peace.